In the heart of an ancient forest, where the trees stretched tall and their canopies wove a tapestry of green, a baby owl named Lirian nestled in the hollow of an old oak. The world outside was a mystery, a vast expanse of whispers and shadows, and today was no ordinary day. It was the day Lirian would begin to unravel it. Barely a month old, her feathers were still a soft, downy fluff, speckled with the faintest hints of the sleek plumage she would one day wear. Her wide, amber eyes blinked against the dim light filtering through the branches, catching glints of dawn as it crept over the horizon. The air was cool, laced with the scent of moss and earth, and the forest hummed with life, crickets chirping, leaves rustling, and the distant call of a thrush. Lirian's mother, a great horned owl named Silvara, perched nearby, her silhouette sharp against the fading stars. She was a creature of quiet strength, her feathers a blend of tawny brown and gray, her eyes like twin moons glowing with wisdom. Lirian shifted in the nest, her talons gripping the soft bedding of twigs and feathers, her heart fluttering with a mix of fear and excitement. Today, Silvara had promised, would be the day Lirian would learn to fly. The morning began with the first lesson, trust. Silvara nudged Lirian gently with her beak, urging her toward the edge of the hollow. The drop below was dizzying, a cascade of branches and shadows that seemed to stretch forever. Lirian's wings, still clumsy and untested, twitched at her sides. She had flapped them before, in the safety of the nest, but the open air was different. It was vast, unpredictable, alive. Silvara's voice was low and steady, a soothing hoot that carried the weight of centuries. "Feel the wind," she said, her eyes locked on Lirian's. "It's not your enemy. It's your ally." Lirian hesitated, her claws digging into the bark. The wind tugged at her feathers, whispering secrets of the sky. She glanced at her mother, then at the world below, and something stirred within her, a spark of courage, a longing to know what lay beyond the confines of the nest. With a deep breath, she spread her wings, the soft down catching the breeze. Her first attempt was more a stumble than a flight, a frantic flapping that sent her tumbling a few feet before Silvara swooped beneath her, guiding her back to the branch. Lirian's heart raced, but her mother's calm presence steadied her. "Again," Silvara said, and so they tried again. And again. Each attempt was a little smoother, a little braver. Lirian learned to tilt her wings, to catch the currents of air, to let the wind carry her rather than fight it. By mid-morning, she managed a short glide to a nearby branch, landing with an awkward hop but staying upright. Silvara's eyes gleamed with pride, and Lirian felt a warmth spread through her chest. The sky was no longer a stranger, it was a challenge, one she was beginning to understand. As the sun climbed higher, painting the forest in shades of gold, Lirian's lessons shifted from the mechanics of flight to the art of exploration. The forest was a labyrinth of wonders, and Silvara led her daughter on a journey through its heart. They glided from tree to tree, Lirian's wings growing steadier with each flap. The world unfolded before her like a storybook, each page more vivid than the last. She saw the delicate lace of spiderwebs strung between branches, glistening with dew. She heard the chatter of squirrels as they darted through the underbrush, their tails flicking like tiny flags. A deer and her fawn moved silently below, their steps barely disturbing the carpet of leaves. Lirian's eyes, sharp even in their youth, caught every detail, the shimmer of a beetle's shell, the ripple of a stream cutting through the forest floor, the faint tracks of a fox etched in the mud. Silvara taught her to listen, to truly hear the forest's pulse. "Every sound tells a story," she said, tilting her head to catch the distant rustle of leaves. "Learn to read them, and you'll never be lost." Lyrian mimicked her mother, turning her head almost comically far, her ears catching the faintest scurry of a mouse beneath a fern. The forest was alive, and she was part of it, a small but growing piece of its vast, intricate puzzle. They ventured farther, crossing a clearing where wildflowers swayed in the breeze, their petals a riot of color against the green. Lyrian's wings ached, but the ache was a good one, a sign of strength building beneath her feathers. She perched on a low branch, watching a hawk circle high above, its wings cutting clean arcs through the sky. She wondered what it would be like to soar that high, to see the world from such a height. Silvara, sensing her daughter's thoughts, nudged her gently. "In time," she said. "The sky has no limits, but you must know the forest first." By afternoon, the lessons turned to survival, the most vital skill of all, the hunt. Silvara led Lyrian to a quiet glade, where the grass was tall and the air thick with the scent of earth. "To live," Silvara said, her voice firm but not unkind, "you must learn to take what the forest offers." Lyrian's stomach rumbled. She had eaten only what her mother brought to the nest, bits of mouse or vole carefully torn into manageable pieces. Now, she would learn to find her own food. Silvara demonstrated, her movements a blend of grace and precision. She perched motionless on a branch, her eyes locked on the ground below. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the only sound the faint rustle of grass. Then, in a flash, Silvara dove, her wings folding tight against her body, her talons outstretched. She rose with a small vole clutched in her claws, its struggle brief and silent. Lyrian watched, mesmerized, as her mother returned to the branch and dropped the vole at her feet. "Your turn," Silvara said. Lyrian's first attempts were clumsy, her dives too eager, her talons missing their mark. She crashed into the grass more than once, sending leaves and dirt flying, but Silvara was patient, guiding her with gentle corrections. "Wait," she said. "Watch. Listen." Lyrian tried again, this time forcing herself to still her twitching wings and focus. She heard it, a faint scratch beneath the grass, the heartbeat of a mouse. Her body tensed, her eyes narrowing. She dove, her wings slicing through the air, and when her talons closed around the tiny creature, she felt a surge of triumph. The mouse was small, barely a mouthful, but it was hers. Silvara hooted softly, a sound of approval, and Lyrian tore into her prize, the taste of it sharp and warm. The forest was no longer just a place to explore, it was a provider, a teacher, a home. As evening fell, the forest took on a new character, its colors softening to hues of purple and blue. Lyrian and Silvara returned to the oak, their wings brushing the air in perfect rhythm. The day had been long, filled with lessons that left Lyrian's body tired but her spirit alight. She perched beside her mother, her feathers ruffled by the cool night breeze. The stars began to emerge, pinpricks of light against the deepening sky, and Lyrian felt the weight of the day settle into her bones. Silvara spoke of the cycle, the endless rhythm of life in the forest. "You are part of it now," she said, her voice a soft hoot that blended with the night. "You will grow, you will hunt, you will fly farther than you can imagine. And one day, you will teach your own fledglings, just as I have taught you." Lyrian looked out at the forest, its shadows now familiar, its sounds a language she was beginning to speak. She thought of the mouse, the wind, the wildflowers, the hawk in the sky. She thought of her wings, still growing, still learning, but strong enough to carry her through this first day. The cycle would continue, as it always had, and she was ready to meet it. The night closed around them, the forest alive with its quiet music, and Lyrian closed her eyes, dreaming of the skies she would one day conquer. The stars wheeled overhead, and the forest whispered its secrets to the dark. Lyrian slept, her small body tucked against her mother's, her wings folded tight. The oak stood sentinel, its branches swaying gently, guarding the pair as they rested. The day had been a beginning, a single step in a journey that would span seasons, years, a lifetime. Lyrian's dreams were filled with flight, with the rush of wind and the thrill of the hunt, with the vast, endless world that waited beyond the nest. She did not yet know the challenges that lay ahead, the storms that would test her wings, the predators that would lurk in the shadows, the long nights when food would be scarce. But she had her mother's wisdom, her own growing strength, and the forest's endless lessons to guide her. The cycle would continue, as it always had, through dawn and dusk, through growth and struggle, through the quiet moments of rest and the wild moments of flight. Lyrian was a baby owl, but she was also a piece of the forest's heart, a spark of life that would burn bright in the years to come. And as the night deepened, the forest held her close, whispering of the days that awaited, each one a new page in the story of her life. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.